Hello, welcome along, and Merry Christmas to you, depending on when you look at this video. This is the watercolour painting we're doing. It's an ink and watercolour. This is the photograph, and this is the actual watercolour that we've done, my interpretation of it anyway. So there's some reflection there in the foreground of those buildings, even a reflection of that little man there, or person. And just very basic ink and watercolour city scene there. So here we are. This is the painting, or rather the photograph once again. You can see the reflection there and everything, and I'll take that away, and of course the drawing is a lot bigger because I wanted to fill the paper out. That's the original photograph, which I got online, and I've decided that that would be something I'd like to try to paint. And you can see the reflection there, the buildings, and there's my version of the drawing. It's a lot bigger. It's not exactly the same. I'm going to wet the paper, and I'm going to have a very light sky. It's not going to be standing out at all, my sky. I don't really want it to. It's going to be a combination of cobalt blue. There's going to be a little bit of olive in there and a tiny bit of yellow ochre. That's for the sky.
And then we just washed up our breakfast up, and now we're cooking our stuff now. So yeah, kind of busy morning. We had a Christmas service, but they didn't have any work over the door, so I had Dad do the service, and we had people coming through, and and they weren't doing what they were told, and all sort of garbage. And then someone collapsed in the middle of the service, and we had to stop the service. Yeah, they had a fall. So we had to stop the service. The Sarah was sick, and we stopped all that.
Just nice clear water on the paper. It's 100% cotton watercolour paper. Oh.
So next year, Sarah said she'll stay home, and she will cook it, and then we'll come home and it'll be done. Because it's just too hard. And so, but you had a very nice time.
Cobalt blue there.
You might have been tired, Sarah.
As you can see, it's fairly light.
Oh, yes, I love it. Yes.
A little bit of olive in there now. Look, you're hardly going to see that olive. It's just darkening up the sky just a little bit. And here comes the yellow ochre.
Yeah, just ignore it, Sam. Just say, okay, see ya. I wouldn't be too soon. That's hard. But you know, Sam, one day it'll go off.
And as it dries, there it is, all dry. You can see I put some buildings in there. Those buildings, the bluey looking buildings in the background, it's a combination of cobalt blue and turquoise.
We'll turn that chicken off and put that in here. I suppose it doesn't smell too much, but you can always take it back. But I put him in anyway. That chicken. I'm going to pop him in now. Yeah.
This is burnt sienna.
That family was a silly family. They were a good lady. What was that, sorry? I just noted that lady who family didn't like me. They're a bit weird.
Just above you can see a dark yellow looking building. That's a combination of yellow ochre and raw umber. All right, so this is raw sienna that I'm painting right now.
Jeffrey, Bob Harris loved your card you gave him.
Oh, good.
He showed it to me. Yeah, right at the back. In the brown paper. In a brown. I nearly finished this girl. It's hard to take a shower. It's all over there. All over their paper. You're making a huge mess. Do you like him making a big mess, Sarah? No, it's got stuff in it.
Still with the raw sienna there. This is using a Viridian green mixed with some black. And there'll be more black than Viridian green in these windows.
Yeah, it's all right. Turn it back around again. Yeah. Does it look like it's ready? I don't know. I can't tell. Oh, I'll take it out and I'll feel it. Let's put this somewhere again. I mean, yeah, it just feels pretty good, but maybe I have to tell because they can just look. Yeah. A bit pink as well. I'll have a look. It does seem to. Yeah, it does smell ready to me. Yeah.
This is more burnt sienna. Mixed with a little bit of peach. I will go over that with a darker raw umber, just where I'm painting now. So that's basically the raw sienna. I'm going to darken some areas of that. Of course, we still need to put the windows in as well. And the spire, we'll need to do that part of it as well. There are some little window alcove type parts of that building, which I'm just going to be painting those areas in black. Just the roof sections of them. Combination of Viridian green and black. Just these windows here in the front. So we're just putting in some little windows just to give the impression of detail. It's just really just marks, that's all we're doing. And we've got under this awning here, we've got some more windows underneath here. If you want to send me an email, of course you can comment down below, but if you've got something more lengthier you want to say or ask about, my email address is jeffgoodwinart@gmail.com. That's JEFFGOODWINART@gmail.com. jeffgoodwinart@gmail.com. You can see on that yellow building in the middle there, coming up from the hotel, that yellowy mustard looking building, I put a bit of Viridian green just in the front of that building. Anyway, we continue under the awning here with Viridian green mixed with a bit of black. You see a little figurine, or a little figure of a man I've left there in the front. These windows here, again, Viridian green mixed with black. You can hardly see the sky now, you know what, so I mean, it's faded right back, but I didn't want a sky that was standing out. I'd rather the sky be faded completely back. I could have even left white paper if I wanted to with this one, but I've got something in there anyway for a sky, but it's so light you can barely see it. That's what I want. Viridian green and black in here as well. Just painting around this person here that we've drawn in. Some more black in here now. Fixing up these windows here, Viridian green and black.
Okay, cooking tea now. What we need to do now, I think, is cut up the, just cut up the red rolls. You're a red roll, those sticks. Yeah, okay. How long will that just be for today? Today and tonight? The red rolls, is that going to last for tomorrow? What, those, have that tonight? Today and tonight. Oh, the red rolls. Oh, well, what do you think? Well, I thought we had that now. Yeah. That's what I was just saying. Yeah.
Just do these awnings around, or these little dividers on this building. It's taking shape. I've just darkened on the right hand side, as you can see, the illusion of a bit of a tree coming out from the right, some foliage there. That's what we want. We just want to make that shadow just fall down the side of the building a bit more like that. That's better. So we still have that little figurine to paint on the right hand side. And there's a tiny one on the left hand side. You can barely see it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you for those who have subscribed. I really appreciate it. And for those new subscribers, people about to subscribe, thank you very much as well. All right, it's just a very, very light wash of Payne's grey. I'll have to probably bring that back just a tiny bit, but we'll see how we go. The final reveal, I'll probably darken it up closer to the buildings when you see the final reveal. There's a little car there too on the right hand side. I don't know whether you can see it, but it might become a bit clearer as we progress, because I need to put some more buildings around that little car, or a building on top of it, but in front of it. That's what I mean to say. So that building in front of that little car on the right hand side will be right in the distance, but it will help highlight the car anyway. Figurines, the head will be an orange red, and then I'll choose some different colours for the clothing. Putting a bit of white gouache over there just to bring it back a tiny bit. As I said, on the final reveal, we will have it a bit darker closer to the buildings. So we're just painting in this little figurine. Got the orange red for the head, and I'm just giving this guy some blue clothing, a blue shirt. He'll have some dark trousers on. There he is with his dark trousers on. You see another little figure to the right hand side of him, right in the background. Just bring that back with the tissue. We've got the reflection in the foreground that we're doing now. So we want a tree in the foreground. We want a reflection of that little man, some sort of a reflection of the little man in this. It's supposed to be some sort of a puddle on the street. And I don't want an exact replica of those buildings in the reflection. I just want it to be just a suggestion of those elements, the buildings and the person, the people. I just want a suggestion. I don't want it to be exact. Some reflections, a lot that you see, are not exact. Of course, you do get mirror reflections, but this isn't one of them. I just want it to be just a suggestion of the buildings and the different colours. Sometimes I wet the paper when I'm doing the reflection. I wet the paper first, but in this instance I did not. But it doesn't matter, it's still working fine. And if you do want to wet the paper first, you just can't have it too wet. You need to let it dry back to a damp. So if you have it too wet, you won't get a shape. It'll just go everywhere. So you need the paper to dry back a little bit. Still damp, but not completely saturating wet. And then you'll be able to get your rough shapes in of the reflection. But I'm just putting this straight on dry paper. When you do your watercolour painting, try not to think that you're doing this for other people to look at. You just do this, or do any of your paintings or drawings, to please yourself. If you're doing them to please yourself, then you'll relax more and you'll be able to do better work. Just loose ink and watercolour. Now, I mean, there'll be people who won't like this, and there'll be people who will like it. But really, at the end of the day, I'm doing this because I enjoy doing it, and that's what you should do. Do it because you enjoy it. And if someone can give you some help or some constructive criticism, then take it on board. But don't get too worried if there are some cruel, nasty people out there who may say something about your work. That's if you post your work. Don't be too concerned about that. There's always critics, and usually people who criticise don't do anything themselves. They're just sitting in a lounge chair. Constructive criticism is different from destructive criticism. Just putting a bit of reflection here in this little puddle just off onto the side here. As you can see, it's similar to that photograph, but it's a lot different. So you do your painting to your own interpretation, and that should free you up even more. Still got a couple of traffic lights to put in. There's a car right in the distance on the right hand side, just to the left of the little man in the blue. It's a white car. I don't know whether you can see it, but we'll put some little red tail lights on it soon. Still working on the reflection. Just trying to get some basic colours, just some very rough shapes, just to give the impression of just reflection. That's all. It doesn't have to be exact. I've just painted around that car. You see a little car in the background there. On the right hand side, just to the left of that little man in the blue. You see that car in the distance. Just accentuating just the impression of some windows in that reflection. Just with a couple of simple marks, that's all we're doing. Using burnt umber for that. Put the reflection of that little man in there as well. White gouache there, just to bring that back a bit. I will darken it off near the buildings just a bit more. And as I said before, you'll see that in the final reveal. So this could be a scene anywhere, really. Could be in New York, in Sydney, in Brisbane, perhaps. Dragging a bit of white gouache over here just to give the impression of some reflection going over the puddle here in areas, and we'll accentuate the edges of that puddle, and you'll see that in the final reveal photograph as well. Here we go, just painting the reflection of this little man in here, into the puddle. As I said, does not have to be exact, just to give a rough impression of a reflection. That's all we're doing. Here we are, so we'll take off the tape. You'll see on the final reveal, it will be a bit darker on the street toward the buildings, and the puddle will have more accentuation around the puddle. That'll be on the final reveal photograph. Here it is. Here comes the final reveal. You can see the accentuation around the puddles there. Very loose watercolour. Just a street scene with some sort of a puddle with some reflections in the foreground. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll be back with another watercolour very, very soon. Bye for now.